It's 2 a.m. and I'm field testing a new waterproof tent in my own living room. Yes, you read that right, my living room. Because apparently that's what my life has become. A series of increasingly ridiculous professional obligations that I tackle alone while my wife pretends I don't exist. The tent is actually pretty decent. Alpine series, supposed to withstand Category 2 hurricane winds. Too bad it can't withstand the Category 5 emotional hurricane that just walked through my front door. Kendra stumbles in, and I use the word stumbles generously. She's not drunk, she's just carrying herself like someone who's been somewhere she shouldn't have been, doing things she shouldn't have done, with someone who definitely isn't her husband. Owen? Her voice cuts through the apartment like a rusty blade. What the hell are you doing? I poke my head out of the tent flap, giving her my best customer service smile. Quality assurance testing? You know, that thing I do for work? The job that pays for this apartment you occasionally visit? She rolls her eyes, a gesture I've become intimately familiar with over the past 6 months. Everything I do gets the eye roll now. Breathing gets the eye roll. It's the middle of the night. Technically, it's early morning, and technically you're supposed to live here too. I zip up the tent flap. How was networking? The pause is long enough to field test a sleeping bag. Fine. Learn anything interesting about synergistic brand partnerships? Another pause. Kendra's gotten sloppy with her lies lately. Used to be she'd have 3 backup stories ready. Now she can barely manage one. Just the usual industry stuff. I want to ask her why she smells like someone else's cologne. I want to ask why her lipstick is completely gone, but her mascara is smudged. I want to ask when exactly she decided that our marriage was just another networking event she could skip. Instead, I say, "Cool. I'll be in here if you need anything. Fair warning, though. I'm testing the emergency whistle at 6 a.m. She disappears into our bedroom without another word. I hear the shower running 20 minutes later, at 2:30 in the morning. Because apparently networking is very sweaty work. I lie in the tent, staring at the ceiling through the mesh window, and realize something that should probably terrify me, but instead feels oddly liberating. I don't care anymore. 3 days later, Kendra announces she has another work event. Company party? She says, applying makeup with the precision of a surgeon. Rooftop thing downtown. Very important for my career. Sounds thrilling. Want me to come? The look she gives me could freeze a campfire. It's not really your scene. My scene? What exactly is my scene, Kendra? You know what I mean. I don't, actually, but I'm starting to get the picture. My scene, apparently, is sitting alone in our apartment while she builds her career, one mysterious evening at a time. Actually, I say, I think I'll come anyway. Support my wife's professional growth and all that. The panic that flashes across her face is brief, but unmistakable. Owen, seriously, it's just work, people. You'll be bored. I'll risk it. 2 hours later, I'm standing on a downtown rooftop, nursing a craft beer and watching my wife flirt with a guy who looks like he was ordered from a catalog titled Generic Successful Men. His name is Christian Blake, and he works in tech solutions, which as far as I can tell means he has opinions about apps. Christian is everything I'm not. Tall, where I'm average height. Smooth, where I'm sarcastic. Expensive, where I'm practical. He's got the kind of confidence that comes from never having to test whether a tent actually keeps you dry or just claims to on the packaging. I watch Kendra laugh at something he says. It's not her real laugh. I know her real laugh. This is her networking laugh, the one she practices in the mirror, but she's using it like it means something. Rough night? I turn to find Alina Pierce standing beside me. Alina is Kendra's friend from college, though friend might be generous. They have the kind of relationship that exists mainly on social media and at events like this. Alina is stunning in the way that makes other women nervous and men stupid, but she's also sharp as a tactical knife, which makes her considerably more interesting than her looks. Just enjoying the show, I say, nodding toward Kendra and Christian. Alina follows my gaze and smirks. Ah, the Christian Blake experience. He's quite the charmer. You know him? We've crossed paths. He's got a very specific type. What type is that? Married women with something to prove. The honesty hits like a slap. I look at Alina more carefully. She's wearing a black dress that probably costs more than my monthly gear testing budget, and she's holding her wine like she's actually tasting it instead of just drinking it. That's a pretty specific observation. I'm a UX writer. I get paid to notice patterns in behavior. She takes a sip of wine. Your wife's been ignoring you all evening. You've been watching? Hard not to. You're the only person here who looks like they'd rather be anywhere else. It's refreshing, actually. I laugh, and it's the first genuine sound I've made all evening. Most people find my antisocial tendencies less refreshing. Most people are boring. Alina moves closer, and I catch a hint of her perfume. It's subtle, expensive, nothing like the aggressive cloud Kendra's been wearing lately. Want to get some air? I glance over at Kendra. She's touching Christian's arm now, leaning in like she's sharing state secrets. She hasn't looked in my direction once since we arrived. Sure. We walk to the edge of the rooftop, where the city spreads out below us like a circuit board. The wind is picking up, and I automatically check the stability of the temporary structures around us. Occupational hazard. So, Alina says, outdoor gear testing. That actually sounds interesting. Most people think it sounds like an excuse to avoid real work. Most people have never had to trust their life to equipment that might fail. She leans against the railing. I imagine it requires a certain attention to detail. You could say that. The kind of attention that might notice when something isn't working the way it's supposed to. I look at her. There's something in her voice, a careful neutrality that suggests this conversation is going somewhere specific. Alina, are you trying to tell me something? She's quiet for a long moment, watching the traffic below. I'm trying to decide if you're the kind of person who wants to know the truth or the kind who prefers comfortable lies. Try me. Kendra's been talking about Christian for months. At first, it was just work stuff. Complaints about projects, office politics, the usual, but lately, she shrugs. Let's just say her conversation topics have shifted. Shifted how? She knows his coffee order, his workout schedule, his opinions on everything from real estate to restaurant recommendations. Alina turns to face me fully. Owen, when was the last time your wife asked about your day? The question lands like a punch. I try to remember and come up empty. That's what I thought. Alina's voice is gentle but firm. I'm sorry. I know this isn't what you want to hear. Actually, I say, surprised by my own honesty, it's exactly what I needed to hear. We stand there for a moment, the city noise filling the silence between us. Then Alina does something unexpected. She takes my hand. Come on, she says. Let's go back inside. But this time, let's have some fun. We walk back into the party together, and I notice immediately that the dynamic has changed. Alina's hand in mine feels natural, comfortable. We're not putting on a show, we're just two people who enjoy each other's company. But Kendra notices. I see her look over, see her eyes widen slightly when she realizes I'm not standing alone in a corner anymore. For the first time all evening, I have her attention. Alina and I find a quiet spot near the bar, and she starts telling me about her work. She's funny, smart, and actually listens when I talk about gear testing. We laugh about the absurdity of testing emergency equipment in controlled environments, about the disconnect between marketing promises and real-world performance. Like relationships, she says with a wry smile. Great in theory, questionable in practice. Some relationships, I correct. Others are like really good equipment. They work exactly as advertised, even under stress. Are you speaking from experience? I'm speaking from hope. Kendra appears beside us like a storm cloud. Owen, we should go. I check my watch. It's only 10:30. I have an early meeting tomorrow. Since when do you have Saturday meetings? The look she gives me could strip paint. Since I started taking my career seriously. Alina squeezes my hand gently. It was lovely meeting you, Owen. I hope we can continue our conversation soon. I'd like that. Kendra practically drags me toward the elevator. I turn back to wave goodbye to Alina, and I see Christian watching us with an expression I can't quite read. It's not jealousy exactly. It's more like calculation. The ride down is silent. The walk to the car is silent. It's not until we're driving home that Kendra finally speaks. What was that about? What was what about? You and Alina, the hand-holding, the cozy conversation. I almost laugh. Are you seriously asking me about holding someone's hand? It looked inappropriate. Inappropriate. I let the word hang in the air. That's an interesting choice of words. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing, Kendra. It doesn't mean anything. But it does mean something. It means I'm done pretending not to notice what's happening. It means I'm done being the understanding husband who doesn't ask uncomfortable questions. It means I'm done being invisible in my own marriage. We pull into our parking space, and Kendra turns off the engine. She sits there for a moment, gripping the steering wheel. Owen, she says finally, we need to talk. Now you want to talk? Things have been difficult lately. Difficult how? She takes a breath. I think we both know this isn't working. There it is. The conversation I've been dreading and anticipating in equal measure. The moment when all the careful pretending stops and we acknowledge what's been obvious for months. You're right, I say. It's not working. She looks surprised, like she expected me to fight her on this. So what do we do? I don't know what you're going to do, Kendra, but I know what I'm going to do. Which is? I get out of the car and head toward our building. She follows, her heels clicking on the pavement like a countdown timer. Owen, we need to figure this out. I stop at our front door and turn to face her. Actually, I think you already have it figured out. You've been figuring it out for months. What's that supposed to mean? It means I'm done pretending I don't know what's been going on. The color drains from her face. Owen. Good night, Kendra. I unlock the door and go inside, leaving her standing on the steps. For the first time in months, I sleep well. The next morning, I wake up to find Kendra sitting at our kitchen table with coffee and what looks like a prepared speech. She's wearing her serious conversation outfit, the navy blazer she puts on when she wants to project authority. We need to discuss our situation, she says without preamble. I pour myself coffee and sit across from her. Our situation? Our marriage, Owen. Where we go from here? I'm listening. She takes a breath, and I can see her switching into presentation mode. I think we both agree that we've grown apart. We want different things. We're at different stages in our lives. Are we? Yes. I'm focused on building my career, establishing myself professionally. She gestures vaguely. You're content with where you are. Content. I taste the word. Is that what you call it? I'm not trying to be cruel, Owen. I'm trying to be honest. Honest. Okay, let's try honest. I lean back in my chair. How long have you been sleeping with Christian? The coffee mug freezes halfway to her lips. Excuse me? Christian Blake. Tech solutions, great hair, mediocre conversation. How long? I am not... Kendra. My voice is calm, which seems to unnerve her more than shouting would. I'm giving you a chance to be honest. Don't waste it. She sets down the mug with shaking hands. It's not what you think. What I think is that you've been having an affair for months while I pretended not to notice. What I think is that last night was the first time you felt threatened because someone else was paying attention to me. What I think is that you're sitting here in your power blazer trying to manage this conversation like a PR campaign. Owen, am I wrong? The silence stretches between us like a tightrope. Finally, she speaks. It's not physical. But it's something. Yes. The word comes out like a deflating balloon. Yes, it's something. I nod, surprised by how calm I feel. How long? 3 months? Maybe 4. And you were planning to tell me when? I was trying to figure out what I wanted. What you wanted. I stand up and rinse my coffee mug in the sink. Well, I guess that makes things simple. Simple how? Simple like this. I'm filing for separation on Monday. The color drains from her face completely. Owen, wait. We can work through this. Couples therapy, counseling. No. No? No, Kendra. We can't work through this. You made a choice. Now I'm making mine. I walk toward our bedroom, but she follows me. You can't just give up on us. I'm not giving up on us. There is no us. There's you, there's Christian, and there's me. That's not a marriage. That's a love triangle. And I'm not interested in being the third wheel in my own life. It's not like that. What's it like then? She struggles for words. It's complicated. No, Kendra. Calculus is complicated. Quantum physics is complicated. This is simple. You want someone else. Go be with someone else. I start pulling clothes from our shared dresser. She watches me like I'm defusing a bomb. Where are you going? Hotel? Then I'm finding an apartment. Owen, please. Can't we at least try to be adults about this? I stop packing and look at her. Really look at her. She's beautiful, successful, ambitious. She's also selfish, dishonest, and apparently incapable of basic respect. I wonder when I stopped seeing her clearly. Adults? I say. Okay, let's be adults. Adults don't sneak around behind their spouse's back. Adults don't lie about where they're going and who they're with. Adults don't emotionally check out of their marriage while expecting their partner to stick around for the show. I never meant for this to happen. But you're glad it did. She doesn't answer, which is answer enough. I finish packing a bag and head for the door. I'll be back for the rest of my stuff next week. My lawyer will be in touch. Your lawyer. Did you think I was going to handle this myself? I test camping equipment for a living, Kendra. I'm not stupid. Monday morning, I'm sitting in the office of Jared Morrison, divorce attorney. Jared comes recommended by my buddy Marcus from the gym. and he has the kind of no-nonsense demeanor that suggests he's seen every variation of marital disaster. So, he says, reviewing the notes I've prepared, emotional affair, separate living arrangements, no kids, no significant shared assets beyond the apartment lease and some basic furniture. That's about the size of it. Any evidence of the affair? I slide a folder across his desk. Screenshots of text messages I accidentally saw, photos of them together at work events, credit card statements showing dinners and drinks that I wasn't part of. Jared flips through the documentation with professional detachment. This is good work. Most people come in here with nothing but hurt feelings and vague accusations. I test equipment for a living. Documentation is part of the job. Well, it's going to serve you well here. He closes the folder. Given the circumstances, this should be fairly straightforward. Ohio is a no-fault state, but evidence of adultery can still impact things like spousal support and asset division. I don't want her money. I just want out. Understood. But you should know. Your wife works in PR, which means she's probably going to try to control the narrative around this divorce. Be prepared for that. He's right, of course. By Tuesday afternoon, I'm getting calls from mutual friends who've heard Kendra's side of the story. According to her version, we've been growing apart for months, and the separation is mutual and amicable. No mention of Christian, no mention of the lying, just two people who want different things going their separate ways. It's a good story. Clean, simple, no villains. The kind of story that lets everyone stay friends with both parties and pretend nothing messy happened. Too bad it's complete bullshit. Wednesday evening, I'm at Marcus's gym, working out my frustration on a heavy bag, when my phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Hi, Owen. It's Alina. Got your number from the alumni directory. Hope that's okay. Heard about you and Kendra. Want to grab coffee sometime? I stare at the message for a long moment. Then I type back, coffee sounds good. When works for you? Her response comes quickly. Tomorrow, 7 p.m., there's a place called Grind on 5th Street. See you there? Marcus appears beside me as I'm putting my phone away. Good news or bad news? Honestly, I'm not sure yet. Thursday evening, I arrive at Grind to find Alina already there, sitting in a corner booth with 2 cups of coffee. She's wearing jeans and a simple sweater, and she looks more relaxed than she did at the party. Thanks for coming, she says as I sit down. I wasn't sure you'd want to see me. Why wouldn't I? Because I'm technically Kendra's friend, and because I probably should have minded my own business the other night. Should you have? She considers this. No, I don't think so. I think you deserve to know what was happening. Even though it wasn't really your place to tell me? Especially because it wasn't my place. Nobody else was going to do it. I take a sip of coffee. It's good. Strong, bitter, honest. So what's the story? Are you here to do damage control for Kendra? Alina laughs, but there's no humor in it. Owen, I need to tell you something about Kendra and me. We're not really friends. We haven't been for a long time. No? No. We have history. Bad history. Want to talk about it? She's quiet for a moment, turning her coffee cup in her hands. 5 years ago, I was up for a position at a major design firm. Dream job, everything I'd worked toward. I made it to the final round, and then suddenly I was out. Didn't get the job, didn't get an explanation. What happened? I found out later that someone had called the hiring manager with concerns about my professionalism. Anonymous tip about inappropriate behavior at my previous job. Complete fabrication, but enough to raise doubts. And you think Kendra was behind it? I don't think it. I know it. She was dating someone at that firm at the time. She was also up for a similar position at a competing company. Jesus. The worst part? I couldn't prove it. And even if I could, what was I going to do? Sue my college friend for sabotaging my career? It would have made everything worse. I stare at her. Why are you telling me this? Because I want you to understand who you're dealing with. Kendra isn't just someone who made a mistake or got confused about what she wanted. She's someone who will destroy other people to get what she wants. And you think she's destroying me? I think she's been destroying you for months. I think she's been systematically undermining your confidence, isolating you from friends, making you question your own perceptions. I think she's been preparing you to accept whatever story she decides to tell about why your marriage failed. The words hit like physical blows because they're true. I think about the constant criticism, the eye rolls, the way she's made me feel like I'm never quite good enough, never quite interesting enough, never quite successful enough. So what do I do about it? Alina leans forward. You fight back. How? You stop letting her control the narrative. You stop being the understanding, accommodating husband who takes responsibility for her choices. You start telling the truth. The truth? That she's been having an affair, that she's been lying to everyone, including you, that she's not the victim of a failed marriage. She's the cause of it. I consider this. That sounds like revenge. Maybe it is. Would that be so terrible? I don't know. I've never been the revenge type. Maybe it's time to try something new. We sit in silence for a while, and I find myself studying Alina's face. She's beautiful, yes, but there's something else there. Intelligence, determination, and underneath it all, a carefully controlled anger that I recognize because I'm starting to feel it myself. Alina, I say finally, what do you get out of this? Why do you care what happens between Kendra and me? She smiles, and for the first time since I've known her, it looks completely genuine. Because I like you, Owen. Because you deserve better than what she's giving you, and because I've been waiting 5 years for the chance to watch Kendra face some consequences for her actions. So this is about your revenge, not mine. Maybe it started that way, but it doesn't have to stay that way. I finish my coffee and look out the window at the evening traffic. People heading home from work, going about their normal lives, dealing with normal problems. I used to be one of those people. Now I'm sitting in a coffee shop with my wife's former friend, planning some kind of retaliation against a woman I used to love. When did my life become a soap opera? Okay, I say. What did you have in mind? Alina's plan is elegant in its simplicity. Instead of letting Kendra control the story of our divorce, we're going to make sure the truth comes out. All of it. The thing about Kendra, Alina explains as we walk through downtown after coffee, is that she's built her entire professional reputation on being trustworthy. PR is all about credibility. If people start questioning her honesty in her personal life, they'll start questioning her professional judgment too. You want to destroy her career? I want her to face consequences for her choices. There's a difference. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But I'm past caring about the distinction. Over the next week, Alina and I meet several times to coordinate our approach. She's surprisingly good at strategic thinking, and I'm discovering I have a talent for documentation that extends beyond product testing. First step, she says, is making sure the right people know what's actually happening. The right people? Kendra's coworkers, her boss, her mother, the people she cares about impressing. How do we do that without looking like we're just spreading gossip? We don't spread gossip. We share facts. There's a difference. The opportunity comes sooner than expected. Dana Mitchell, one of Kendra's coworkers, reaches out to me on Friday afternoon. Owen, hi. I hope it's okay that I'm calling. I heard about you and Kendra, and I just wanted to say I'm sorry. Dana is Kendra's office frenemy. They maintain a professional relationship that's about as warm as a winter camping trip. If anyone at Kendra's company is going to be receptive to unflattering information, it's Dana. Thanks, Dana. I appreciate that. I have to ask, is it true that it was mutual? Kendra's been saying you both just grew apart, but honestly, you guys seemed fine the last time I saw you. When was that? The holiday party in December? You were talking about that gear testing trip you took to Colorado. Kendra seemed proud of you. December. Before Christian. Before the emotional affair. Before everything went to hell. Dana, can I ask you something? How well do you know Christian Blake? There's a pause. Christian? Why do you ask? Just curious about him. Kendra mentions him sometimes. Mentions him how? I take a breath. Like someone she spends a lot of time with. Another pause, longer this time. Owen, are you saying what I think you're saying? I'm not saying anything. I'm just asking questions. Because if you are saying that, it would explain a lot. Such as? Such as why Christian's been hanging around our department so much lately. Such as why Kendra's been working late on projects that don't seem to require much actual work. Such as why she's been so interested in his opinions about everything from client presentations to restaurant recommendations. Bingo. Dana, I'm not asking you to do anything with this information. I'm just saying that if you're curious about the real reason for our separation, it might not be as mutual as Kendra's suggesting. I see. And if you happen to mention to anyone that there might be more to the story, well, that's your choice. I understand. Monday morning, Alina texted me. Phase 1 complete. Dana's been asking questions around the office. Word is getting around. Tuesday afternoon, Kendra's boss called a meeting about maintaining professional boundaries. Christian looked uncomfortable. Wednesday evening. HR wants to talk to both of them separately, tomorrow. I should feel guilty about orchestrating this. I should feel bad about potentially damaging Kendra's career. Instead, I feel something I haven't felt in months. Powerful. Thursday night, Kendra calls me. It's the first time we've spoken since I moved out. Owen, we need to talk. About what? About what you've been telling people. I haven't been telling people anything. Bullshit. Dana Mitchell has been asking questions about Christian and me. My boss wants to discuss workplace conduct. HR is scheduling interviews. This has your fingerprints all over it. Kendra, if people are asking questions about your relationship with Christian, maybe that's because there's something questionable about your relationship with Christian. There's nothing questionable about it. Then you have nothing to worry about. Owen, please. You're going to ruin everything I've worked for. I'm not ruining anything. I'm just not covering for you anymore. Covering for me? Pretending I don't know what's been going on. Letting you tell everyone that our marriage failed because we grew apart. Playing the part of the understanding ex-husband who takes equal responsibility for our problems. That's not what I asked you to do. It's what you expected me to do. It's what you've always expected me to do. Make your life easier by making myself smaller. There's a long silence. When she speaks again, her voice is different, harder. Fine. You want to play it this way? Let's play it this way. What's that supposed to mean? It means you're not the only one who can tell stories, Owen. She hangs up. Friday morning, I get a call from Marcus. Dude, what the hell is going on? What do you mean? I mean, Kendra called me last night. She's telling people you've been stalking her, following her around, harassing her at work, making threats. She said what? She said you've been obsessed with her relationship with some coworker, that you've been trying to sabotage her career because you can't accept that she's moved on. Marcus, you know that's not true. Of course I know it's not true, but she's calling everyone we know. Tom, Jennifer, Mike, and Sarah from your old neighborhood. She's got this whole story about how the divorce has made you unstable. Alina was right. Kendra isn't just someone who made a mistake. She's someone who will destroy other people to protect herself. What did you tell her? I told her she was full of shit and hung up. But Owen, some people are going to believe her. You know how this works. People love drama, and the crazy ex-husband story is a lot more interesting than the cheating wife story. That afternoon, I meet Alina at a bar downtown. She takes one look at my face and orders us both double whiskeys. She's fighting back. I tell her about the phone calls, the accusations, the character assassination campaign. Alina listens without interruption, then nods grimly. I should have expected this. When Kendra feels cornered, she goes nuclear. So what do? We go nuclear back. Meaning? Meaning we stop playing defense and start playing offense. Meaning we give people something more interesting to talk about than Kendra's version of events. Such as? Alina pulls out her phone and shows me a series of photos. They're from various work events over the past few months, company parties, client dinners, networking mixers. In every single one, Kendra and Christian are together, talking, laughing, touching, looking at each other like they're the only people in the room. Where did you get these? Social media. Kendra's been posting them herself. She just never thought about what they look like when you put them all together. I scroll through the images. The progression is obvious. From professional colleagues to something much more intimate. There's one from last month where Christian has his hand on Kendra's lower back, and she's leaning into him like they're dancing. This is good, I say. But is it enough? By itself? No. But combined with what I'm about to show you, it's devastating. She opens her laptop and pulls up what looks like a work scheduling system. Christian's calendar. He's been booking conference rooms for strategy sessions with Kendra. 2-hour blocks, always during lunch, always marked private. How did you get access to this? I did some freelance work for their company last year, still have login credentials. She grins. Technically, I'm not supposed to be using them anymore, but technically, a lot of things we're doing aren't supposed to be happening. I study the calendar entries. Dozens of them, going back months. Always the same conference room, always the same time slot, always marked with innocuous-sounding project names that don't correspond to any actual client work. Alina, this is brilliant, but what do we do with it? We make sure the right people see it, starting with HR. Monday morning, someone, and I have no idea who, sends an anonymous email to Kendra's HR department. The email contains a detailed timeline of Kendra and Christian's relationship, supported by photographic evidence and calendar records. It raises questions about the misuse of company resources, potential conflicts of interest, and violations of the company's fraternization policy. By Tuesday, both Kendra and Christian are suspended pending investigation. By Wednesday, the story has spread throughout their professional network. By Thursday, Kendra's mother calls me. Owen, what have you done? Barbara Lowe has never liked me. I'm not successful enough, ambitious enough, or impressive enough for her daughter. but she's always been polite about it, in that passive-aggressive way that wealthy women perfect. "Hello, Barbara. How are you?" "How am I? How am I? My daughter's career is in ruins, and you're asking how I am?" "I'm sorry to hear Kendra's having work troubles." "Work troubles? Owen, she's been suspended. She might lose her job, all because you couldn't handle the fact that she outgrew you." "Is that what she told you?" "She told me you've been harassing her, following her around, spreading lies about her, trying to destroy her reputation because you're jealous of her success." "Barbara, has Kendra mentioned Christian Blake to you?" Silence. "Because if she hasn't, you might want to ask her about him. You might want to ask her why she's been spending so much time with him. You might want to ask her why she's been lying to you about the reasons for our divorce." "I don't know what you're implying." "I'm not implying anything. I'm telling you directly that your daughter has been having an affair. I'm telling you that she's been lying to everyone about it, including you. I'm telling you that the only reason her career is in trouble is because she made choices that violated her company's policies." Another long silence. "Even if that were true," Barbara says finally, "what you're doing is vindictive and cruel." "You're right. It is vindictive. It is cruel. It's also exactly what she did to me for months, except she did it slowly and privately, while I'm doing it quickly and publicly." "That doesn't make it right." "No, it doesn't, but it makes it fair." I hang up, and for the first time since this whole thing started, I feel something like satisfaction. That evening, Alina and I celebrate at the same bar where we had our first strategy session. She's practically glowing with triumph. "Did you see Christian's LinkedIn?" she asks. "He's already updating his profile, looking for new opportunities. Guess the tech solutions business isn't working out for him." "What about Kendra?" Radio silence. No social media posts, no public statements, no attempts to control the narrative. I think she finally realizes she's outgunned. "So what happens now?" "Now we wait. The investigation will take a few more days, but the damage is already done. Even if they don't fire her, her reputation is shot. Christian's too?" I should feel victorious. I should feel like justice has been served. Instead, I feel empty, like I've been running on adrenaline for weeks, and it's finally wearing off. "Alina, can I ask you something?" "Sure." "Do you think we went too far?" She considers this seriously. "Do you think Kendra would have stopped if the situation were reversed?" "No." "Do you think she would have shown you mercy if you were the one who got caught cheating?" "No." "Do you think she's learned anything from this experience that will make her a better person?" I think about that. "Probably not." "Then no, I don't think we went too far. I think we did exactly what needed to be done." Maybe she's right. Maybe this is what justice looks like. Messy, complicated, and ultimately unsatisfying for everyone involved. Or maybe we've just become the kind of people who destroy others to make ourselves feel better. Either way, it's too late to change course now. The investigation concludes on Friday. Kendra keeps her job, but barely. Christian is transferred to a different department with a formal reprimand on his record. Both of them are required to attend ethics training and submit to regular performance reviews for the next year. It's not the complete destruction I'd been expecting, but it's enough. Their professional reputations are damaged, their relationship is public knowledge, and everyone knows the real reason for our divorce. I should feel satisfied. Instead, I feel like I've been playing a game where nobody wins. Saturday morning, I'm moving the last of my belongings out of the apartment when Kendra arrives unexpectedly. She looks terrible, exhausted, defeated, older than her 29 years. "I thought you'd be at work," I say. "I took a personal day." She watches me load boxes into my car. "So this is it?" "This is it." "Owen, I want you to know, I never meant for things to get this ugly." I stop loading boxes and look at her. "Which part didn't you mean? The part where you had an affair, or the part where you tried to convince everyone I was stalking you?" "The stalking thing was, I was scared. I thought you were trying to ruin my life." "I was trying to ruin your life, just like you were trying to ruin mine." "I wasn't trying to ruin your life." "No? What would you call it then?" She's quiet for a long moment. "I was trying to make it easier." "Easier how?" "Easier for you to let go. Easier for both of us to move on." "By lying about why our marriage failed?" "By not making it about blame. By not turning it into a war." I almost laugh. "Kendra, it was already a war. You just wanted to win without fighting." "Maybe you're right." She leans against the building wall, looking smaller than I've ever seen her. "Maybe I handled everything wrong." "Maybe?" "Okay, I definitely handled everything wrong. I should have been honest with you from the beginning. I should have told you about Christian before anything happened. I should have asked for a divorce instead of just checking out." It's the closest thing to an apology I'm going to get from her, and it's not nearly enough. Why didn't you? Because I was a coward. Because I wanted to have my cake and eat it too. Because I thought I could manage the situation without anyone getting hurt. How did that work out for you? Obviously, it didn't. I load the last box and close the trunk. Kendra, I need you to understand something. What happened between us, the investigation, the public humiliation, all of it, that wasn't about revenge. It was about truth. Truth? You spent months lying to me, to your family, to your friends, to yourself. You created this elaborate fiction where you were the victim of a failing marriage instead of the cause of it. Someone had to tell the truth. And you decided that someone was you? I decided that someone wasn't going to be you. She nods slowly. I suppose I deserved that. Yeah, you did. We stand there in awkward silence for a moment. 5 years of marriage, reduced to a parking lot goodbye between two people who used to love each other. Owen, she says finally, for what it's worth, I hope you're happy. Are you? No. But I think I will be, eventually. Good. Everyone deserves to be happy, Kendra, even you. I get in my car and drive away, leaving her standing in the parking lot of the apartment we used to share. In my rearview mirror, she looks like a stranger. Monday afternoon, Alina calls with news. Christian resigned. Resigned? Effective immediately. Apparently the ethics training requirement was too much for his ego. What about Kendra? Still employed, but she's been moved to a different team, away from client-facing work. Basically, they've put her in PR purgatory. How do you know all this? Dana's been keeping me updated. She's enjoying the drama a little too much, if I'm being honest. That evening, Alina and I meet for dinner at a restaurant downtown. It's not a celebration exactly, but it's not a celebration either. So, she says over appetizers, what's next for you? Next? Now that the divorce is finalized, now that Kendra's been dealt with, what do you want to do with your life? It's a good question. For months, I've been so focused on the immediate crisis that I haven't thought about the future. I don't know, I admit. Go back to being a normal person, I guess. Test some gear, pay some bills, try to remember what it's like to have a simple life. Sounds boring. Boring sounds pretty good right now. Alina smiles. You know, Owen, you're different than you were a few months ago. Different how? Stronger, more confident, less willing to let people walk all over you. You mean more vindictive and calculating? I mean more willing to stand up for yourself. There's a difference. Is there? Yes. What we did to Kendra. That wasn't about cruelty. It was about justice. She made choices, and she faced consequences for those choices. That's how the world is supposed to work. Maybe she's right. Maybe what we did was justice. Or maybe it was just revenge dressed up in prettier language. Alina, can I ask you something personal? Shoot. Do you feel guilty about what happened to Kendra? She considers this seriously. No. Do you? I don't know. Sometimes. Why? Because I used to love her. Because part of me still does, even after everything that happened. That's normal. Love doesn't just disappear because someone betrays you. Do you think she loved me? I think she loved the idea of you. I think she loved having someone stable and reliable and devoted. I don't think she loved you enough to be honest with you, or faithful to you, or respectful of you. So what's the difference? The difference is everything, Owen. The difference is the difference between loving someone and using someone. We finish dinner and walk through downtown. The city is alive with Friday night energy. People heading to bars, couples on dates, groups of friends laughing and talking, normal people living normal lives. Owen, Alina says as we reach my car, I have a confession to make. What's that? I didn't just run into you at that company party by accident. No? No. I knew Kendra would be there with Christian. I knew you'd be there watching it happen. I went specifically to talk to you. Why? Because I've been watching this train wreck for months, and I was tired of watching you get hurt. So this whole thing, the revenge plan, the investigation, everything, you orchestrated all of it? We orchestrated it. Together. But you started it. I started it. Yes. I should be angry about this revelation. I should feel manipulated, used, like I've been a pawn in someone else's game. Instead, I feel grateful. Thank you, I say. For what? For caring enough to get involved, for helping me fight back, for showing me that I didn't have to just accept what was happening to me. You don't need to thank me, Owen. You would have figured it out eventually. Maybe, but it would have taken longer, and it would have hurt more. She steps closer, and I realize we're standing very close together. So, what happens now? Between us, I mean? I don't know. What do you want to happen? I want to find out if we're as good together when we're not plotting someone's downfall. I laugh. That's a hell of a foundation for a relationship. We've had stranger beginnings. She's right about that. We've definitely had stranger beginnings. Alina, I need you to know, I'm not ready for anything serious. I'm still processing everything that happened with Kendra. I'm still figuring out who I am when I'm not married to her. I'm not asking for serious. I'm asking for honest. Honest I can do. Then that's enough for now. She kisses me, and it's nothing like kissing Kendra. It's not desperate or needy or complicated. It's just honest. When we break apart, she smiles. See? Much better when we're not plotting revenge. Much better. I drive home to my new apartment, small, simple, mine, and for the first time in months, I sleep peacefully. No nightmares about failing marriages or cheating wives or public humiliations. Just quiet, dreamless sleep. The next morning, I wake up to a text message from an unknown number. Owen, it's Christian. We need to talk. I stare at the message for a long moment, then delete it without responding. Some conversations aren't worth having. Some people aren't worth the energy. I make coffee, check my work schedule, and start planning my weekend. Simple, normal things. The kind of things I used to do before my life became a soap opera. It feels good to be boring again. But as I'm finishing my coffee, my phone buzzes with another message. This time it's from Kendra. Owen, Christian is talking about doing something stupid. You need to know. I set down my coffee cup and call her back. What do you mean, something stupid? I mean, he's angry about losing his job. He blames you for everything that happened. He's been drinking, making threats, talking about getting even. Getting even how? I don't know. But Owen, I'm scared. He's not thinking clearly. Where is he now? I don't know. He won't answer his phone. He's not at his apartment. Kendra, why are you telling me this? Because whatever happened between us, I don't want you to get hurt. I consider this. Christian Blake, tech bro with a bruised ego and nothing left to lose. It's not a combination that inspires confidence. Okay, I say. I'll be careful. Owen? What? I'm sorry, for everything. I know it's too late, and I know it doesn't change anything, but I needed to say it. Thank you. I hang up and call Alina. We might have a problem. But that's a story for another day. Right now, I have gear to test, a life to rebuild, and a future to figure out. And for the first time in a long time, I'm looking forward to all of it.